Hello, Free Enterprise fans from around the world. Welcome to twitch.tv/Free Enterprise for the Friday evening community race night. My name is Veritas Knight. I'm joined here in the Restream booth by our incredible Restreamer Beauty and Discovery. Tonight's tracker, Rowdy Roddy Sniper, and joining me on comms is Kiora Mari. Kiora, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing fairly well. I'm looking forward to this seed personally. How about you?
I am really excited to see an incredible stream. We have two top tier runners with us tonight on the Restream. We have Kyrios and Cubs Rule, who are going to be showcasing off this Holding Out for a Hero flag set for us. We're going to get to that in just a moment, but before we do that, if you're watching, you've probably noticed that we've got a special banner up on the screen tonight. So, longtime community member Cassidy Moan has recently passed. We want to take a moment to thank Cassidy Moan for his long-time contributions to the Free Enterprise team, fixing bugs, helping out in the back end, and putting down the thoughts that have helped the game grow. We also want to take a moment to remember him and send our thoughts to those who knew and loved him. Thanks, Cassidy. All right. So, tonight, Holding Out for a Hero. We have a really interesting flag set. We're going to see some very fun stuff on the Alpha 5.0 build. Is there anything in particular you're looking forward to seeing tonight, Kiora?
Personally, I am just all excited about grabbing the shiny items. You know, items everywhere, and only one Cecil, if I'm reading this correctly, to be seen.
Yes, that's right. So tonight is a key item hunt, and we are not just going to be looking for key items in our usual locations. This is not just a K-main scene. Tonight we'll be also looking for key items in summon locations. They'll be behind the lunar altars. We will find them in the monster in a box checks that are located above the underworld and below the lunar subterrane. So we'll go over that when we get there. But we will also be using one of the new flags, K-Care, C-H-A-R. That one replaces character checks with key item checks. We'll be getting at key. We have key item check at Forge on. So instead of getting a super item from the Forge, you're going to get yourself a key item there. And we have, so that's pretty much, and no free. So we will be seeing all sorts of interesting things. But we're also doing something interesting with the characters. Do you want to go over that, Kiora?
Absolutely. From what I understand, there is a K-Wish or a C-Wish, character wish, where players can choose to go to Wish Tower and just automatically fill out their roster. Especially this is important considering that, I'm sorry. This is important because Permajoin is on, so critical decisions need to be made right out the gate, and with so much freedom given to our racers, which is going to be really a great way to see how our racers both work for and against each other with these massive open decisions.
Absolutely right. So we see we're starting with a cane tonight. So you will be taking a cane with you. You get up to 3 more slots. If you choose to hold one of those slots open for that Cecil, which is going to take 8 key items to obtain, obviously you'll be rewarded with the big bad paladin himself. 9 key items get you his crystal sword. 10 key items get you the crystal, which will let you go beat the big bad boy Zeromus himself. So the racers do seem to be off. So because we've replaced our character checks with key item checks, we get a chest at the beginning instead of the character. We see we've got the King and Queen of Eblin are in the wrong location. They provide the pan to start, and we're off to the races.
I'm really interested to see what the first moves are going to be. Will our racers go straight and to Wish Tower, or will they do other things? And if they go to Wish Tower, what will they decide to do? fill out their permajoin team and just start immediately racking up experience points, or waiting for, our hero?
Right, you are. Well, I guess we're going to get the answer to that question right away, as both racers are heading to get. Well, we're getting a Rosa on Cubs' side,
Mhm.
an Edge for Cubs, an Edge for Kyrios as well, and a Porum for Kyrios. Well, that's interesting.
That is interesting. Rosa, I would see, because Rosa and us. I'm sorry, I'm very nervous.
You're doing great.
We all know they're our dynamic little lover duo. So, I could see a race or two going for Rosa, but absolutely the Porum is an interesting choice.
You have to think the difference with the Porum is that Porum's going to get exit and Rose is not unless you do the Tower of Zot. So we're going to see some divergence right away. Cubs Rule is heading straight to Castle Eblin. We do get the Miab kit, so 3 Hourglass 2s, which allows taking those monster boxes to be pretty easily done. Meanwhile, Kyrios is headed over to Damcyan to begin looting the basement and possibly raising that hovercraft.
We've got our Mad Ogres? Mad Ogres.
Yes, that's right, Mad Ogres. So they'll have queued up a few attacks, but because of the Hourglass 2, Cubs Rule is now going to get lots of time to take care of them, and I would imagine is going to try to hit some life glitches here to maximize the experience on those starting 3 characters. So both of our runners have chosen to hold a spot for the upcoming Cecil. Edge, taking advantage of the Assassin's Dagger that is in that Miep kit, is going to start dropping those Mad Ogres, and we're seeing the life glitch in action right now. Kiora, do you know how the life glitch works, or do you want me to explain it?
If I understand correctly, the life glitch is just as they're about to go, you throw a potion and you end up getting double.
That's right.
Double
So
XP.
if you can key up a life 1 check, you're going to go ahead and bring that monster back to life. They come back with 5 times their vitality score, but they don't have a vitality score, so they immediately die, and you get double the experience.
Yay! I remember correctly. I'm learning.
There we go. So we see Kyrios has now come to Castle Evelyn as well and is doing the same thing. What we saw previous, though, with Cubs Rule, defeating those Mad Ogres, got nothing from the chest. That's expected in this flag set. So we have a flag set where if you aren't getting a key item from a character check or from the other monster checks or the other key item checks, you're not going to get anything. So it's key item or bust right now.
Right. And I really, like I said, I just love how, it's just so many checks that you could do for these key items. It leaves so much open up for routing and pivoting.
And apologies, the character checks would be mixed in with the key item checks as a result of the flags. You can still get items, but if you would see a nothing, that would have been a character. But all of our characters are at the Tower of Wishes to start. So that's a white spear for Cubs and Kyrios. They are going to power up that cane and get him going full speed right away as they both work their way through Castle Eblin. Looks like Kyrios was able to back row glitch that edge with the boomerang he found in the basement in Damcyan. So that'll help out a little bit as well. The back row glitch, when a weapon that would deal damage to the back row is equipped, that flag is set, but it never gets unset. So Edge can hang out on the back row for the rest of the game, doing full damage to any monster on the board. Really good thing to get early on that Kyrios will have and Cubs doesn't yet have.
Yay,
Thunderclaw, that's useful for later if they run into some robots. Right, so they're going to continue.
I'm telling you, the boxes are just zoomy.
Oh yeah, these are top tier runners. They're not taking their time to pay too much attention to what's coming up in that box. They're hitting the button and moving on.
And that speed in the seed is definitely a boost. I can see the difference.
Oh, absolutely. Cubs has found the Staleman chest, is going to start off with that Hourglass 2 to stop those monsters from swinging, and then shouldn't have any problems getting through that as they prepare for... that should basically finish up Eblin Castle. Kyrios is just a couple steps behind, but did loot Damsay Basement as well.
Mm.
So T standard is on, which means that if you're not fighting a monster in the box, the loot that you're going to find is pretty much randomly sprinkled about through the various chests in the game. So there's not too much advantage for heading anywhere. You're looking for density rather than specificity when it comes to those chests. But the 3 monster in a box checks, they are really great for both advanced items and for the potentiality of a key item.
Out of all of the checks, what are you looking forward to, or maybe possibly if our runners did, which would be probably something you would see as a challenge for our racers? I understand they're both top tier, so
I think with this party, we're not going to see too much in the way of challenge, especially Kane's got some pretty good strength going on. I think it'll be interesting to see if they follow similar routes. We've already seen a small bit of divergence. I'm curious what they're going to be interested in fading. Cubs is headed over to Baron now to do the Baron Inn and to sleep at the Baron Inn, which is perfectly acceptable. Just had a tough run through Castle Eblin. Kyrios is out of Eblin. We'll see if he's heading up to follow. Kyrios is heading to the Antlion Cave. So the difference here, Kyrios has that Porum. So Antlion gets a little bit more efficient to handle with exit in hand. Oh, looks like he set up a save. And we see a Val.
Val. Ooh, this is a punchy spot, I think, for Val. Easy peasy.
That Val can be tough if you don't have a dart. I ran into one not long ago while playing and bounced off it a couple times. The second Baron boss will be...
There's our Mandible Kitty.
So
right after.
It's a Mandible Kitty. We have B Chaos on tonight, which means that bosses may repeat.
Ooh,
there's no guarantee. Yep. The only thing we know for sure we're going to see is a demist because we have no free on, which means you have to find the demist in order to unlock the key item hiding behind Rydia's mom and Mist. But there could be multiple demists, and whichever one you get first is the one that's going to matter.
Yep.
So Kane using that white spear as an item in order to cast white on the Antlion to maximize the damage and get through it as quickly as possible. Meanwhile, Kyrios is working on Baron Key in the vanilla location.
Baron Key, yes.
Well, that's going to unlock some checks right away for Cubs rule.
Now,
Kyrios going to Fabul is interesting. A lot of times when someone has the pan in hand, they're going to feel tempted to wait until they find underground access. Officer Soldier here shouldn't be any challenge at all for Kyrios. Another advantage of that Baron Key is access to the shop in Baron, because S Standard is on. Gated shops have better gear. So picks up a Lunar Staff, and I would imagine he's going to grab Strength Ring there if he can. Kyrios is all the way through that fight in Fabul.
Yep, going for that Strength Ring.
So Kyrios gets nothing in Fabul, literally nothing. That would have been a character check if See Wishes wasn't on. But gets the free heal, and that might be the reason that Kyrios routed in that particular way. Cubs is underground and is going to grab those chests in the Baron Pass, at least the first 3. And Kyrios is going to head to Mount Hobbs. Now this is interesting. I thought we might see some Hobbs fades. It is a character check, which could be a key item. I guess you can reset out pretty quickly if it's not. And we get the Earth Crystal. Wow. Oh, we're seeing
That
lots of
was
fun stuff.
that is very fun.
Vanilla Mom Bomb for Curious. That's our second scoop for the night. Shouldn't be much of a challenge. Cubs is going to work their way through Baron. So we've already seen 2 overworld key items in the Baron key and the Earth Crystal. So the hunt for underground access is on. Yeah, Cubs is not going to have any challenge here with Edge versus his parents. Just going to cut right through them as quickly as possible.
Yep. I am looking forward to the treasury as well. Just because, treasury. I'm looking at the chat. My apologies. Hi, chat.
Curious is now going to pop and handle Antlion Cave. Yeah, I think with T-Standard on, the density of chests should give Edge lots of things to throw early to mid-game.
Mm-hmm.
I would expect we're going to see that once Kyrios makes his way over to Toroya. Let's see who the King of Baron is. Ooh, sparkly.
Sparkly! We got our Twinkle Twinkle.
So, dual sparkles. We've got Wyvern in Antlion, and we've got Ogopogo in Baron.
Baron.
Kyrios, no problem getting through that Wyvern.
Nope.
Getting the Masamune to power up that Edge. Well, that's got to feel nice.
That, yeah, definitely. That's got to feel good. Ogopogo, pogoing and ogoing along.
And then we'll see Kyrios take a moment to rearrange Porum's spells, and then indeed does use that exit to get out and save himself a few seconds. Cubs, no problem getting through that Ogopogo, through a dart, threw up a bit of damage, and problem solved.
And while there are some meteor weapons to dart, it's still both runners are very skilled. They're slicing through like butter.
Oh, Kyrios is going to skip the treasury. He says, I don't need anything else to throw. I'm heading right up the tower. And when you think about it, that makes sense. There's 2 character checks up there, which means that's actually 2 key item checks. There's a monster box on the way and the flame dog. So that's your 3rd. And then there's the standard reward for beating the seed, or beating the tower. So this is actually a pretty key item dense, key item check dense location on this flag set.
Mm-hmm. It does make a lot of sense.
So Cub's reward for the Baron Castle is the tower key. Once Cubs finds that underground access, they'll have the ability to head up the tower and do both checks at once, if that's their choice. Is now going to head up Hobbs to get the Earth Crystal. Meanwhile, Kyrios is looting in Zot aggressively, looking for that Flame Dog chest.
We're looking for a jalapeno puppy in a box.
Right you are. Kyrios, you'll notice when he entered that 3-prong there, the trident, they call it, chose to go to the quickest one first, and then the next quick.
And there's our jalapeno puppy in a box.
That's right. So the Flame Dog shouldn't take too long to drop. Meanwhile, Cubs is working on getting through that Mom Bomb. Following the same strategy, is going to wait for it to explode and then sweep with the ninja skill.
Yes, Lord Gruber, fade that treasury.
And Kyrios has found the darkness crystal in the Flame Dog chest. So that is going to make things very, very fun and interesting. Now, I believe we have to find some sort of underground access as well. But Kyrios, being a very skilled runner, who knows what he's going to do. Rubicant at the first Zot boss. Not a lot of magic power here. Shouldn't have too much problems getting through this.
No. He'll send the pervy sage away for the day. Keep your robe closed.
That's right. Meanwhile, Cubs is heading down the Antlion cave. Will have, if he decides to keep the Masamune he's going to find here, will lose a little bit of time compared to Curios because he won't be able to warp out or exit out. He will have to wait. So that is an interesting piece, I think. No problems with that Wyvern.
Nope.
Rubicon has a decent hit point pool for early game here, but the Curios should have this done in a moment. Between the Berserked Edge and Kane with the White Spear jumping. Shouldn't take too much longer. Meanwhile, Cubs is walking that Masamune out for the extra power on their edge.
Huzzah. We're about 17 minutes in, and we'll just do a little item count. We've got a... Oh, by all means.
I'll say that's right. We're looking for 8 key items to get a Cecil. The only way to get Cecil in this seed. 9 key items for the crystal, and then 9 key items for the crystal sword, and then 10 key items for the crystal. Curios is getting a chest check here. We find out there are guards in Dwarf Castle. And we'll see what comes next. What else is Curios going to find? Yeah, Rowdy Sniper pointing out in chat that the early Earth Crystal means that the slight time advantage for getting that early exit on Porum will not necessarily get too much worse. So that is an excellent point. Curios gets a Dragoon Spear, which handy if a dragon shows up, or may serve as a dart. And we'll get a chance to face the second Valvalis of the Seed.
Wait, not that game.
Welcome to B Chaos. Cubs Rule is going to be the hero of the people and go check the treasury, it looks like.
Huzzah.
Yeah, it's a good question, Beauty. I think it is still vanilla. But we all know it's not the original. So the original was in Baron. That's just how it works. Ninja sword, lightsaber, a few decent darts there, and that ninja sword I think makes that a pretty good little treasury.
I'd rate that a decent treasury. I would rate that a decent.
Rune Axe to help with Kane handle any mages, Dragoon Armor again to help with dragons, but mostly I would rate that Edge out of 10.
Edge out of 10.
Yeah. Not bad, not great. Curios gets through that Valvalis without too much challenge. The Porum takes a nap, but that's fine because Curios is through. Cubs is heading up the tower just as Curios is getting out. So Cubs will be checking a few chests looking for the Flame Dog, which we know is a little bit further in. Curios is going to get his reward here in a moment for the Tower of Zot, which is nothing.
Ah.
I have to admit, Kiara, I love seeing that nothing pop up. It makes me chuckle. I mean, if I was racing, it would frustrate me every time. But as a viewer,
feel a little bad. I feel a little bad for. I do see the Willy Wonka meme as well when it's like, you get nothing. Good day, sir.
I think that means what we're looking for has to be on ordeals.
I am beginning to think so as well.
Well, we've seen. I think we've seen everything else. Both Baron and Earth Crystal not really giving us underground progression, we will have Darkness Crystal. It'll be interesting to see if Kyrios decides to pull the crystal, that Darkness Crystal, out and head to the moon before doing anything else. I imagine Kyrios, when he completes the antline here, will want to chase the Baron Key. So we will see. But both runners are kind of crossing over each other's footsteps here. But we're getting a decent amount of those key item checks, already at 5 for Cubs Rule. Kyrios is at 3, but is about to get his 4th.
Yep.
Kyrios, waiting for that fight, was able to get through a little bit quicker than Cubs Rule did. But
it is almost mirrored how they've crossed over.
Yeah, that's right. Cubs Rule is handling, I think that Rubicon is going to drop a little bit faster for Cubs Rule. So a little bit more strength and levels there. And Cubs Rule was able to get slightly better gear, especially for that edge with the Ninja Sword and Strength Rings. So that edge is a little bit more potent. Kyrios is now opening that gated shop with the Baron Key and is probably going to follow in similar footsteps with some acquisitions.
Getting the Strength Ring on the other side.
2 Strength Rings, 1 for each person, and a 3rd for the Cecil.
Awesome.
You know, it always does good to be prepared. You never know when you're going to have to put a ring on it.
Yeah, you'll never know when you have to put a ring on it. And it's always good to shop.
That's right. So Cubs Rule will get that Dragoon Spear that replaced one of the character checks. The second was a nothing, which is why we saw a little piggy there. And then we'll fight their second Val of the Seed. Valvalia, I think, is the standard joke we're using here. And if we see we'll get to a 3rd.
What is the name of the 3rd? Is there an ongoing name for a 3rd?
Yeah, it'd be Valvalga. Yeah, there we go. It's it's the magic progression from Final Fantasy games. I don't know if I'm playing BKOS and BKOS choose to throw multiple Valvalises at me. I'm not a happy runner, even if I have the cane in hand, that's going to make it a little bit easier. It's still just a painful boss, no matter where you run into her.
That'll be an interesting seed that one could develop out of, the pits of a nightmare.
That's right.
Call it Val Velveeta. Viva la Val.
So, folks, while our runners are crossing each other's paths over, and we know what they're going to find, I want to take a moment just to highlight the runners tonight, Kyrios and Cubs Rule, 2 of the amazing runners, longtime community members, and people that you will see all over tournament history here. I also want to shout out the other people in tonight's community race: Shiru, Maddock, Pushwall, Jbrun, and Flurry, who are competing. So there are 7 racers tonight. We're getting to watch 2 of them, but 7 people vying for the number 1 spot tonight. So good luck to all the runners. All right. Cubs Rule is heading, looks like, to Fabul. Can't land there, Cubs. Sorry. Probably wanted to try to preserve that Fabul check for that mythical single Fabul dip. Get those 3 key item checks once you get underground. But without a magma key or hook in hand, you have to make a choice. And I think every runner wants that to be Fabul and not Ordeals on this flag set.
Herbs grabbed a Fire Claw.
Never a bad idea to have claws handy. You never know when they're going to get you out of a sticky wicket.
And of course, good old-fashioned cures.
Never have too many pots. Kyrios has gotten through the Ogopogo. No drama on his side, as expected. All right, Cubs is going to take on those Fabul guards. Shouldn't be too much. There's no challenge here on this one. Both these parties are pretty powerful. They've got good weapons on their edge and cane. Rosa / Porm is doing their job and berserking up when necessary. So we're seeing a very well-equipped set of characters. We're seeing a seed that has the potential to be pretty quick if they hit some key items rapidly once they get underground access.
Received a nothing.
That's right. Nothing in Fabul. Absolutely. All right, Kyrios is going to be the first of our runners to get to Ordeals. We know that Ordeals has to have the route that's going to take us to underground. It could be through the hook. It could be through the harp. It could be through a Demas boss. Or it could just be a magma key in the change room. But it's got to be up here. So Kyrios getting here first tells us that in terms of timing, slightly ahead. But I think Cubs slightly ahead on power and party composition in terms of having that ninja sword, a little bit extra gear. So it'll be interesting. We're seeing a Mylon. Which Mylon will it be? It's Mylon Z. So he's on the wrong side of the bridge, but that's okay. We can call this a little French vanilla. That white spear on Kane, absolutely no mercy.
Yep, just does not even blink. Goodbye.
Shouldn't see too much delay for Cubs here as well. Should go down pretty quickly.
Yep, without mercy, just gone.
With dolls in the back attack, we're gonna, again, I can't imagine this is gonna be too slow. We'll have Edge's ninja's skill. We do get some J items to start Thor Rage, and they will have picked up some J items during the looting. So if they feel the need, there should be enough to go through pretty quickly. Yeah, the Bore, yeah. That ninja's skill. That flame cleaned it up pretty quick.
Yeah, they put me to shame. Dolls anywhere always give me trouble when I go solo by myself. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
I'm a big fan of J items on the dolls. Just throw the biggest, nastiest J items you have. Kyrios is not going to bother saving and is going to head on into the change room. So we might be about to get to 6 key items here. Oh, actually, I think we have to have a key item here.
We have to have a key item here.
No, we didn't, because this could be the Demas boss gate, but it's not. The magma key is there. We're going to have a sparkle on the other end of the change room. Very exciting.
Magma key! And it's Ogopogo. Second Ogo.
Ogopoga. There we go. Down goes the second Ogo. A little bit less challenging in this spot than at the Baron Throne. I don't even think we're going to see one big wave, one hit for that Cubs rule. So you're seeing that power difference between Kyrios' edge and the Cubs rule edge at this stage. Well, that's nice. We're probably not going to... We're not seeing any Tellas today. I don't think either of these runners is going to suddenly realize they can get Tella online and head to my city and pick him up. All right, so with Magma Key in hand, I think we're just going to see both runners head underground, and then we'll see how their paths diverge. They both have the Tower Key, they both have the Pan. So that opens up quite a lot of options underground. Yes, Sylvia, welcome to the Restream. We are pretty much in sync. Both runners have done almost everything else that the other one has done. The only real difference is Kyrios checked the basement of Damcyan very early on, and Cubs Rule looted the treasury where Kyrios didn't. Pretty much everything else, though, they've not necessarily been in sync the whole time, but they've certainly done everything the other has done. So they are, for all purposes, neck and neck, just as we expected with two incredible runners like Kyrios and Cubs Rule.
Yeah, they're definitely double helixing each other, just crisscrossing all left and right. But still managing to meet up at key intervals.
Yeah, they've high-fived going in and out of Tower of Zot and a few other places. So just so you know, Sylvia, and anyone else who's joined us, this is a key item hunt. Key items are not just found in the normal locations, they're in the summon locations, moon altars, monster boxes considered above the underground. So that's Castle Eblin, the Hook Route, the Flame Dog Chest, Tower of Zot, Hair Dryers, and Last Arm Chest in the Giant. They are also found in character check locations. So whenever you might find a character, you might instead get yourself a key item. All characters, though, are held in the Tower of Wishes. You can pick your party. Both team members have chosen to leave a spot blank, as this is max 4. At 8 key items, they'll get a Cecil. At 9, they'll get a Crystal Sword for the Cecil. And at 10, they'll get the Crystal and be able to head to Zeromus.
Here we are with the pan. Curios bringing in the pan.
Well, this is 3 key item checks, so there's a Bahamut Orb for Iridia we will not be seeing tonight.
Mm-mm.
The small children, other than Porum, will be staying in my city at the Tower of Wishes. Kyrios looks like is going to go check the Fey March, get the freebie there, and probably check the bosses. Cubs Rule running just behind Kyrios, heading to do that pan check as well. So K-Miab above is become very popular in modern flag sets on 5.0. And one of the reasons for that, there's the Sand Ruby, which does unlock a key item check on, I guess that could have been a progression gating item earlier, because that's a key item check now too. Geez, it adds a lot more you have to think about, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. That's what I was saying, is like, it's fun to see how much this opens up. It gives a lot of it's a lot of options, to be honest. Once you unlock certain things now, you can do the Sand Ruby. That's another check. There's also a Tower Key for both our runners. But yeah, it's fun, really.
So with shop standard on, we've just found a gated shop, and we have found some really good gear here. Kyrios was able to pick up some karate vests, a heroin robe. I would imagine is probably about to buy a ninja sword for that cane. Yeah, or for that edge. Sorry, geez, for that cane. This isn't a Omnidextrous Seed VK. Come on.
At least you know what all those things mean. You just said. You chastised yourself, and I'm like, I understood some of those words.
There's a really good conversation in chat now about K-Miab above, allowing Miab checks, but without the moon boxes, without some of the unpleasant hunts later. And speaking of unpleasant, Kyrios finds 2 sparkles. The king and queen of the Fey March are moon creatures who have come to Earth. Don't blame Kyrios for dipping out to go check one of the other technically gated shops in Tomra, the town whose name I always forget. So the question is will we see a hero of the people? It looks like Kyrios is going to go check the treasury. And will Kyrios check the job dwarf? No. Oh, I'm offended. Now, Kiora, I'm gonna confess here. I don't love all the community memes, but the job dwarf is one that is near and dear to my heart.
I believe you are not alone in that.
The random combinations make me giggle on that pretty much every time. Kyrios popping over the dwarf castle has found the sirens. See if he goes ahead to get some of those. Looks like he's going to do some selling. Cubs Rule on the other side, checking the weapons shop for us. Rune Axe he's already got. Nothing good on the armory.
Nothing going on there.
Cub says no to checking the rest of Dwarf. And so does Kyrios. Both runners getting out.
Both runners are pretty heavy with their damage, so...
I think you've now got 3 checks on the overworld. I think it's time to go and do that. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 key items. If you hit on all of them...
Now, will Kyrios
good.
do the Sand Ruby?
Kyrios is probably going to do the Sand Ruby, I would think. Cub's Rule gets a boomerang, which will allow him to back row his edge. Kyrios was able to back row his edge way earlier on. And there is a regular item waiting for us under the Sand Ruby. And it's a crystal ring. Well, yeah, so Square Box, they could have checked Dwarf for a key item. They do not have a Warp Caster. So even though Warp Glitch is on, without a Warp Caster, that does kind of disincentivize Dwarf a bit, but there is also a character check at Dwarf. So it is 2 checks instead of 3. But on the surface, they have 3 checks between the Sand Ruby that you just saw, and I imagine both runners are going to race over to Sheila to return her missing kitchenware.
Gotta bring the pan back.
Yeah, the Cubs Roll has now crashed into both sides of the moat this stream.
A thing I do regularly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have crashed into many buildings and structures and water surfaces while playing Free Enterprise, that's for sure. All right, Sheila's got the package. Doesn't really help us. Well, there's a character check, which could be a key item. But there's our Cecil. That's the 8th key item for both runners.
Key item, so it is useful.
That's right. Unfortunately, they didn't follow it up immediately with the 9th. They got a silver apple instead. But, I mean, I guess you could do package if you really wanted to.
If you really, really wanted to.
You know, you could see if it's a key item check pretty quickly and reset out if you don't like it, because you want to see those blue chests. If you see the blue chest, it's a key item. If you don't see the blue chest, reset out. And it looks like Kyrios is going to do just that. Kyrios sets up the save. Cubs Rule doing the exact same thing. These runners are in sync. It is a blue chest.
It's a blue chest.
So no matter what is in that chest, Kiora, it is going to be a crystal sword.
Mm-hmm.
And then they both just need one more, and then they can do their grind and go to Zeromus. Like, we are looking at a rocket seat, because I cannot imagine Kyrios or Cubs Rule are going to have any challenges grinding these characters to a Z-ready party status.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is going to be a very, very zoomy seed for these 2 players. Like, huzzah, blue chest! Yay! Don't touch my chest. Yeah. That's my purse. I don't know you.
So, folks, it's going to take a moment for them both to get through these cutscenes to free up this poor, innocent key item who just lost its mother in the horrible burning of mist. Hearts go out to the key item. But while that's happening, if you are having a great time and you're thinking about playing Free Enterprise, you can join us at our Discord. You can find all of our information at FF4FE.com. We would love to have you hang out with us, join. You can play and race. You can learn to commentate. You can learn to restream. There's all sorts of ways to contribute to the community, and it is just an exceptional place to spend some of your internet time. Dr. Lugay is going to show up to interrupt Kyrios and Cubs Rule as they try to recover that. You got to go to the inn so the key item can recover its health, so it can go into your pocket. That's how it works.
I mean, it is a orphaned key item, and they get very sleepy. So, for abandoned key items.
Not not particularly a lot of challenge here at this very early game boss spot for Dr. Mike. We will not hear his long speeches today.
Yeah. And you are supposed to charge your crystals in the moonlight if you know what you're doing for your swords. So 2 birds, 1 stone.
There we have it. All right. It's a Luca key. Both runners will get the crystal for their Cecils. Beauty. They've already checked the sand ruby. I hate to inform you. If they had done it the other way around, it would have been a little bit more efficient, but they found a crystal ring at the sand ruby. It is really interesting because I think I would have done the Fabul check first because it is 2 key items right quick, and that might open up something like that. But I guess maybe you don't really want, like, psychologically, runners don't want the package to show up. I think that's a fair statement. Who really wants the package?
Me personally, I would have been calling help from my veteran players way by now. Help! I'm lost.
So Kyrios is headed to Mysidia, not to pick up any more characters. With that Cecil is the 4th character. We have Permajoin on in case you've just joined us. Both parties are set. Kyrios is headed to the moon, and boy, does it look like, yep, Cubs is heading there as well.
I think both are at the just grinding to Z level point about now.
They need 1 more key item each.
1 more key item.
So
yeah,
if you are thinking to yourself, I'm going to do a key item, do you go to the moon? You probably want to check the hairdryer's chest. That's the quickest way to get a monster in the box check done. If you think you have the Power Cave Bahamut's right there, the Murasame chest, because K-Moon is on, there are lots of options.
Alternatively, Cubs Rule still hasn't gotten the Sand Ruby that Kyrios did.
Yes, exactly so. Which means Cubs Rule is, I would say, needs to find some key items quickly. Kyrios does have a very slight but very real advantage right now.
I know! Weird, Rodney Sniper.
That's right. So Kyrios and Cubs Rule, for those who don't know, are partners in the Troy and Tango Club. Troy and Tango is a club where you get a seed. 2 runners get the same seed and collaborate over Discord while they're playing. It is a lot of fun to watch. But they do seem to think pretty much in lockstep. Cubs Rule, checking that Hummingway shop on the moon. Going to find those additional hourglasses. You have to think that with Sirens in hand, they're going to be in a bunch of hourglasses. You have to think these runners are going to be going for some gold dragons. And there is key item number 10.
Oh, woot.
Kyrios gets the spoon. That's a free 10,000 damage for Mr. Edge against Zeromus. He also gets the crystal at 44 minutes and 9 seconds. We have to think Kyrios is well in the lead with that additional key item in hand. Gonna get his grind done on the moon, very efficient on the lunar subterranean, and probably head right for the big man himself.
Speaking of Tango, it is also one of my favorite seeds kinds of runs to watch, especially on the weekend. So I also highly recommend Tango if you've not watched it or tried it. It's definitely a good time.
If you are interested, you can always check out our runners, Kyrios and Cubs Rule, on their individual twitch.tv channels, where you will see them participating in that club. And I mean, they do all sorts of things, so all sorts of free enterprise. So I think you would have a great time following them. Cubs Rule heading to the lunar dais after a slight detour. He's going to get his 9th key item, get his crystal sword for Mr. Cecil. Really feeling the lack of that check underground, I think, at this point. And this is really... Go ahead.
No, I was about to say, I've seen this kind of happen.
I
In
guess we didn't.
races. Hmm?
Yeah, I guess we didn't have that sand ruby lit up. Sorry. So Cubs is at 10, has that
Oh.
crystal in hand, so is just slightly behind. This has really been an execution-based race, folks. Two extremely skilled runners know each other very well, making very similar decisions as they go through the overworld. The differences are minor, and now both of them are crystal in hand, 46 minutes in, on the lunar subterranean. They've got the sirens, they've got what they need to do their grind. Ooh. They've got what they need to do their grind. I think this is going to go pretty quick. Yep. Kyrios pulls up the first King Ryu's here. They're a little bit nasty in taking down that Kane, but I would imagine we're going to see that come right back up. Kane with a Dragoon Spear should get through this pretty quickly.
Right. Now this is where we might see the strength difference come into play.
Well, I think the execution of this here is going to be really critical. So Kyrios has chosen to berserk the edge. The Kane, letting the Dragoon Spear go wild. So one thing that we're going to see on this flag set is a change to the way that we do experience. So traditionally in Free Enterprise in our previous configurations, you got a key item bonus for having 10 key items, which is still in place. So they've doubled their experience, but we've also introduced the ability to add a key item bonus for completing objectives. They completed the 8 key item, 9 key item, and 10 key item objectives. So instead of getting a double bonus, they're currently at 2.3 times normal experience for this grind, which speeds it up just that much more. Yeah, that's a great question, Rowdy Roddy Sniper. So, Kiora, how much do you know about agility in this game?
Not much. It is something I am struggling with as a new player.
So, folks, we're going to talk about agility. We'll do it now so that once we get to Zeromus, we can focus on that fight as they're working on their grind, taking down their gold dragons here to get their characters up to end game levels. So in Final Fantasy Free Enterprise, generally the middle character determines the agility. Relative agility is a formula that I'm not going to go through. We don't do math on streams, but the essentials of it is the faster the middle character, the faster your characters get to go, but the faster the other monsters get to go. The slower the middle character, the slower the monsters will go.
And so, this is called an anchor, if I recall correctly.
We call that character the agility anchor. However, in vanilla Final Fantasy IV, Cecil is always the agility anchor, regardless of his slot. For the purposes of this seed, we've restored vanilla agility. If Cecil's in the party, he's always the anchor. So we're not allowing a lot of agility and manipulation in this seed. We don't have cursed rings on, but right now Cecil's speed determines the speed of the enemies. This is similar to how a Sea Hero flag works, for example. Sea Hero, the hero always determines the agility as well. So there, we've gotten a little bit of the agility talk out of the way. If you are interested in learning more, our community sage Tall Grant has an excellent video up on his YouTube channel. It's also linked in the Free Enterprise Discord. I have watched it several times and I feel mildly more enlightened.
I will definitely check it out a few times over.
I mean, honestly, if you want to learn about agility, it is the best way to do it. I sat down with it and it really did go, oh, okay, yeah. Like if I do feel like I am a lot better primed having watched the video. And we have lots of great resources like that, folks. So if you want to get better, that's the place to check. Check the Discord and you will find what you seek.
And personally, I'm just happy I recall some of the terminology and I have managed to know key spots on a map.
Hey, as long as you're having fun, that's all that matters.
I am. And that's the great thing about this community.
All right, more of these monsters are falling. The gold dragon's getting knocked down. Looks like Kyrios has done his grind and is heading deeper into the lunar subterranean. We've got some equipping going on. Everyone's getting their party ready to go. Putting
Now,
their
what
best
kind
gear
of
on.
strats would a player use in Z in this kind of fight? Would they just go Cecil hard, or would there be like mirror strats? I've heard terms like I said, mirror strats, or what kind of strats would you use
I
in
think
this Z
I think
battle?
with this party you're going with berserkers. So you've got
Just
the three best melee characters in the game. They've all got good equipment to ultimate equipment. There's no reason to do anything else. We'll find out in a moment what Kyrios chooses. You could have your white mage throw up his shield, but I think you just let the berserkers do their job. They will. We shouldn't have too much problems with Zeromus. Zeromus is never free, but you know what, Kiora, we are seeing some flags in chat. Do you want to tell me what that's all about?
the Z flag or the Berserker Barrage.
The Z flag.
Yes. I do not know what that's about.
Don't worry. So, folks, this is a randomizer community. We like to shake things up. We like to move things around. But Zeromus is a pretty nasty boss, so we don't want him to show up.
Whose?
That's right. Do you want to ask the question?
Whose butt are we going to kick tonight? Is that it?
That is the question. The question of the hour. And I do mean, looks like it might be the question of the sub-hour at this point with the speed these racers have gone through this seed.
Right. Pretty flashy, pretty zoomy. I wonder what sprite it is and if I know it.
There are something like 700 sprites, but today we have Jafar.
Jafar! Even I would know that one. Yay!
Looks like this is a classic sprite from the Super Nintendo Genesis Aladdin game, which I remember playing a lot of.
Is from the depths of Hades itself, the game. But that's fine. I'm so old.
Right, so Kyrios is running into Zeromus. Very quickly had that first big bang hit. The Porum is not strong enough to live through that big bang and dropped. Had to use a life potion to bring her back up.
Ooh.
Edge throws the spoon for that free 10,000 damage to Mr. Jafar. And we will see what happens next. We'll see. Yeah, 5,000 damage. Wow. Kane throwing the extra, a second big bang. So one of the things that has changed in Free Enterprise 5.0 is the introduction of the fast ROM setting, which cleans up a lot of the graphical slowness that would occur. This means fighting Zeromus and certain other battles moves a lot quicker, as the game does not just simply slow down. But Kyrios is an exceptional runner and doesn't seem to be having too much problems with Zeromus. Cubs is getting into Zeromus now, about a minute and 60, 70 seconds behind. Kyrios does have the lead here. We will have to see if there is an issue with any of these big bangs, but so far Kyrios is doing an excellent job staying on top of them. Yeah,
this really is close-ish.
Oh,
it's like,
wow, that
Porum
coming through with 60 life. The Cure 4 did not get off quick enough. Edge remains zerked and is swinging. We get a shake. Another big bang. Another bear lived for that Porum. It looks like it's the Edge and Porum party on Kyrios' side now. So that Rosa is a little bit more robust. We'll see. And Kyrios takes the reset. Oh. Okay.
I really do love Rosa, and I really, really do love Rosa and Cecil. Like, or is it? Yeah.
So Kyrios is going to go pop that last siren for experience, but on Cubs' side, Cubs has been able to get out the Silk Web. Looks like he's been able to nerf the first big bang. This is in a much stronger position going forward.
nerfing a big bang. need to learn about that at some point.
Well, why don't I teach you right now? So the way Zeromus works is the Big Bang is based on his magic power. But if you're able to throw a direct attack on him or throw an item on him like the Silk Web, after he does his shake, he will lower his magic power so that when he nukes, it'll be an appropriate attack for the level. That magic power won't reset when he Big Bangs, meaning the Big Bang will do roughly 40% of the damage. This is extremely important, especially if you're doing a Fu and Friend strat. But overall, nerfing that first Big Bang, which is as long as you get a direct move on him, like a Silk Web or throw a nuke on him, that one's pretty much free. After that, it gets harder to time. Really excellent runners can time it very, very well. But Cub's Rule is not having too much issues, has more power, more hit points. That Rose is a lot tougher, and is really putting a lot of damage up on Jafar.
Yep. I believe that's the second shake.
Yep, so there's another Big Bang coming. This one won't be nerfed. We'll see some damage. Kyrios has gotten a little bit more experience and is coming back for his second attempt. And yeah, you see the difference there. That Rose is not in any danger. She'll get her Cure 4 out. Because you're not doing reflex stats, you don't have to worry about bouncing the Cure back. You don't have to worry about throwing potions. This is a pretty straightforward fight for Cub's side.
There's a reason why I really do enjoy that I have it permeated in my newbie brain, Cecil Rosa combo for situations like this. I've seen so many runners run this combination and it's gone very smooth for them.
There's simply no way around the fact that Rosa is the best healer. And we're at rocks, so when Zeromus gets very low, he'll switch over to throwing Meteo every turn. You're only less than 10,000 away. That should do it right there. One more hit. Oh, here comes one. No danger on these rocks. And that should do it right there. There's the crumble. Cubs has won our restream tonight.
Ouch.
GG Cubs, congratulations. While Kyrios is getting that second shot.
It was a minute and 57 minutes and... Sorry, 57. Sorry.
That is an exceptional time. Kyrios is almost certainly going to only be a couple minutes behind here. This one really came down to Kyrios not taking that extra siren on the moon. I think that's and maybe the difference is Kyrios picked that poor arm early. Really fascinating. Beauty and Discovery, our incredible restreamer, has just informed us that Cubs is not only winning our restream tonight, but has taken first overall in the 7-person community race. So once again, GG's to Cubs. Way to go.
Way to go.
What an incredible, what a beautiful race to watch.
And I mean, Kyrios is, right on track. A lot stronger, Yeah,
I was able to nerf that first Big Bang, get the Silk Web out, slow that Zeromus down. Really going to be able to put that Berserk damage on aggressively.
Yeah.
Looks like Flurry was only 30 seconds behind Cubs, so what a rocket seed tonight. I guess Beauty had plans and wanted to get to them. All right, so that sound in my headset means we've just been joined by Cubs Rule. Cubs, GG.
Proceed. Do we have a race to play? Did I miss something?
I don't think you missed much.
The last location of Magma, 30 minutes in, that kind of felt bad, but you know what? I'm still not over fast Ramsey fights. That was like a 2-minute fight zerking, and that was white knuckling it even with taking a couple extra sirens. That was bad.
So we were watching, and when you watch back, you'll see Kyrios ran into it ahead of you, and probably took about 1 siren less, and as a result, had to reset. The other difference is he picked the Porum over the Rosa at the beginning, so a little bit less hit points on her.
Yeah, we talked about that. His reasoning was, I mean, good reasoning to have Exit and Zerk sooner, but that you saw there was no time, especially without Bacchus, there was no time to nerf in that fight. It was just tank everything and go.
Absolutely not, absolutely not. And I know, I know that my own experiences with the fast ROM is, I couldn't do it. I battle speed 1. Kyrios has just finished up with a time of 1 hour and 56 minutes.
Curious.
So, GG's.
Yeah, I probably should have dropped down to BS2 a little more. It worked out in Zot or in Evelyn at the start. If Cecil had been any faster, I probably would have, but the Crystal Ring and the Ninja Hat were enough to get Rosa just barely over him and keep her from being RA6 or something.
Yeah, I think it worked out just about right. And yeah, I saw you were white knuckling it there. You were on the edge, but you managed to ride that wave. You had those Cure Force coming out at the exact right time. You got the Zerks back up. Yeah, tough fight, but well handled. Underground, you set up the pan, you head down and handled Feymarch, did some looting, and then got out. No thought at all of checking in Dwarf at that point?
No. I had the 3 checks behind the pan. I got the Silkweb Sand Ruby somewhere, so that was another potential check. No, at that point, I think I was on 7 or 8 key items at that point, and I was just gunning for 10 to get to the moon, pop a few sirens, and go. This flag set, I kind of been approaching it as Kane Edge and a White Mage to just wipe out the overworld, and then do as little as possible to get the last couple of key items to get Cecil and the Crystal Sword.
Yeah, they really lined up for you there. We noted when you came out from the underground, you had the pan and the Sand Ruby in hand. I said, well, maybe you go do pan first, try to get that package or anything else that would kind of unlock. Is there a reason you went for, and both of you did this, you both went for the Sand Ruby first? Was that just speed? Was there a particular reason there?
I was taking the free heal.
That makes sense.
I figured if the pan didn't work out, I was going to have to go back underground anyway. I was just going to reset out to the save scum down there. But I figured might as well take the free heal just in case something silly happens. I'm a little annoyed that Zot basically didn't pay out at all for potential checks in the pool, and I think it was only 1. That I was not happy with.
To be fair, it was the Darkness Crystal. If you were still hadn't found the Darkness Crystal, you'd be digging that underground, I think, pretty aggressively.
Yeah, I did see a Hook was behind Giant, the Giant character, and Pass, I think, was on the King Spot Sparkle, and I don't know what that is, and I don't want to find out. So,
yeah, I saw the first time that someone, I think Kyrios beat you to it by about 30 seconds, and I said, Kyrios looks, and he's gone. No, we're not going to find that out. Not if we don't have to. Any final thoughts? Really well run seed. It was just, other than the Magma Key being in the worst spot, I thought it was just a beautifully executed seed.
This flag set, honestly, you could say it's the most fun I've had playing this game in several months. So I don't know if Beauty put this together or this was one submitted by member of the community, but whoever put this one together, very well done. Very much enjoying this. I'd probably keep playing this on my own occasionally. I really enjoy this flag set, and the fast ROM Z fights, I'm gonna struggle to go back and forth, I think. So I'm still torn on whether I like having them, but it's just going to feel very different going back and forth for a little while, I think.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Beauty has just informed us that this preset comes from the incredible Inven. So thank you, Inven, for putting together something that it was quick, but it was a lot of fun.
No, that was very enjoyable.
All right. Well, thanks so much for popping in for the interview again. Congratulations on the win, Cubs. GG on winning the community race tonight. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Thank you both very much. Looking forward to watching this one back. Roddy, thank you for tracking, not eating the buttons, and Beauty, well done as always. I'll let Kyrios hop in here. I'll see you next time all. Thank you.
GG.
Let's see if Kyrios. Hey, Kyrios, thank you for joining us.
Hello, hello.
GG's, first of all. I think it was third. You see that right?
Yeah, looks right.
Yeah, perfect. Well, what a fast seed after you found that magma key, huh?
Yeah, so it was the last location, but I think that was probably fine with how much value there was in the rest of the overworld. You're never happy to last location progression, but got the darkness out of it. The darkness is the big gating factor in these seeds. Almost nothing else matters. If you find darkness, you're probably routing fine because most of the rest of it is interchangeable, I think.
That sounds about right to me. Being able to get to Zeromus, being able to get to a place to grind quickly, I think that is top value. Now, one thing that we talked with Cubs about, and I want to ask you about, was the decision to take Porum over the Rosa, get the early Berserk, and exit. When that early Earth Crystal came up, did you feel that maybe you weren't going to get as much of an advantage out of that selection?
Yeah, for sure. That's the one scenario where it's not the right choice. I think Porum going in, if you're going to pick your characters right away, I think you always take Porum over Rosa, and then you feel really bad if there's an Earth Crystal. And even then, it doesn't really matter unless you're doing a melee Z fight, which I had joked a little before the seed that Kayn is this hero that makes you go, what, or the starting character that makes you go, what's going on here? I think with literally any other starting character, you don't even consider taking Cecil as the flag set is currently constructed. But with Kayn and being on Restream, it was kind of a fun thing to do. I do think, though, the setup around Cecil penalizes him a bit too much. Then again, if I had figured out my Z action order correctly the first time, I would have probably won the race. So who knows? Maybe it's better than I think.
Yeah, you got in about 75 seconds ahead of Cubs with your first Z attempt. So yeah, it's entirely possible. You were in general, and I think when you watch this back, you'll see you were routing just a little bit ahead of Cubs most of the time. So the execution was excellent, and I just want to congratulate you on just like a masterclass of how to move in and out of the seed, doing the monster in a box fights in Evelyn. Everything was really, really cool to watch. Do you think there was a particular moment where, like, at any point other than when you took the bounce off the Z at the end, did you ever feel behind, or were you feeling pretty confident with the routing?
Yeah, I felt really good. The couple like little things, like, is it right to take package there? That's a long check, but I think note where I was key item wise, I didn't feel too bad about it. But really, yeah, I mean, going down the LST, I know that I have a shorter grind than anybody who took the caster party, which is the big advantage of going melee. Really, the only advantage is that I get to take like 5 or 6 sirens, and a caster party probably has to take between 10 and 12. And having the Dragoon Lance, so I know it's going to be quick. And then, yeah, it all falls apart when I'm like, oh, wait, Cecil doesn't have the action economy to slow down Z enough to even nerf the Big Bang. And that comes with more Fast ROM experience. I don't want to blame it on Fast ROM because obviously I had the tools to get the correct solution there, but it was definitely a little bit of an eyebrow-raising moment when, wait, I'm sorry, Big Bang already?
I played my first 5.0 seed a couple weeks ago, and I had the exact same feeling. I was over-leveled going into Zeromus, and I went, what? Why? How?
Yep.
So yeah, and you know, Fast ROM I think is going to make a big difference on the way that the Zeromus fight gets executed. And I think, I mean, I'm just going to say this, I think that's good because the Zeromus fights, I don't want to say it's perfectly solved, but for a long time there, they were pretty standard. So it's nice to see something shake that up a little bit. But obviously, when you're not ready for it, you're not expecting it, it can really, really ruin your night for a period of time there.
Yeah, I was talking to Cubs about this, God, probably a month or two back, and I don't know if I like Fast ROM or dislike Fast ROM, but I know what I do dislike is this in between where we're playing like some seeds with it and some seeds without it, because you just never get a good intuitive feel for how some things like that are going to go. But that's what happens when you're in a transition time, and by the time we get around to the next tournament, whatever it is, everybody's going to kind of settle in and get very used to whatever we need to do.
Yeah, that sounds about right to me. Yeah, I would imagine that at some point the community standard will be set once we move into the 5.0 full release. Any final thoughts on the flag set or on the seed?
No, I like the flag set a lot. I do think it needs a couple tweaks if it's to become like a long-term thing, but anything that's in the alpha of 5.0, that's going to happen, right? Like I said, I think absent starting with Kane, I think it is basically never correct to take the Cecil, because the advantage of having an anchor on a caster party in a T standard loot that is basically the worst loot that you can have is just too strong. But I do think it's kind of fun when it does work out that you get to just run the melees and do all the fun things too. So no, it's a great flag set. The chaos of just run around, do everything, and try and get 10 key items is a fun little thing to do once in a while, for sure.
Well, thanks so much for joining in, GG's again. Oh, Kira, did you have anything you want to add?
I was just wondering, how did it feel when you did big checks and you just saw nothing?
So I'm a big believer in like expected value and pursue what's going to be the best the most amount of the time. So you go into like a Zot, and I know obviously the darkness was in Flame Dog, but like 2 characters are a blank, the item's a blank. It's like, there's 3 checks there. I'm going to do that, and if someone else chooses to take the darkness and bounce, I'm going to win that 2/3 of the time, right? Like, you just have to be comfortable with Rando does those things.
Okay.
Right.
But GG, I definitely enjoyed watching the both of you and this seed.
Thank you so much. Thank you to the stream team for putting this on, Veritas, Kiora, Rowdy, and for Always Beauty and Discovery for shepherding these community races along. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
All right, thanks, Kyrios. And that's going to bring us up to the end of our stream, folks. We want to say a big thank you to our runners tonight, Kyrios and Cubs Rule, and everyone else who chose to run the community race tonight. I want to thank Beauty and Discovery, our restreamer. I want to thank Roddy Sniper, our tracker, and Kiora Mari. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you for being here with me.
And thank you for having me. I had a really good time, and thank you. The team is great. I had a good time.
Folks, if you want to hang out with us, join our Discord. But for now, we are going to jump over to Jay Brun TR, who is finishing up tonight's seed. So no spoilers, please. But thank you again for joining us. We wish you all the best, and we will see you next week. We will be having a restream. We know it's a holiday in the United States, but there's still hopefully going to be some people around to run through some checks, find some key items, and smash a big angry boss with a crystal sword, or possibly bounce some nukes onto him. So we'll see you next time. Thanks so much, folks. Take care.
Yep, TTFN, guys.